Hi and Happy New Year. It's good to be back. It seems a long time, doesn't it? It's quite a long stretch. It's not as if I haven't been doing bridge in the meantime. We had a great New Year at Denham, as so often. A full house and dancing and celebration. We had a great music list supplied by Helen, and Alfie led us down as usual. And took a long time getting down to bed as well. That's another matter. And we brought the speedball in, the New Year in with the speedball, which was, good fun. I got home later on New Year's Day the next day, and it took a little bit of time to recover. But anyway, it's good to be back here. Double annuary, of course. Don't forget double annuary. Now, it's correct to say Alan had the right idea with redouble annuary, but I think we keep calling it double annuary because I want people just to double more. Because of course, the more people double, the more chance we have to redouble. So yeah, I want you to start the year with more doubling, and basically try to get used to more doubling and try to work out when it's right or wrong, because clearly if we double more we're going to get some of it wrong, but hopefully in the long run we will do better because doubling works. Generally it's going to work. So redoubling, what on earth is that? Well, that's what we'll look at. I'm going to cover the basics today, going over the start of the big seminar. Don't forget, if you're on the site, you've got the big seminar available to you, and we are talking in ReDoubles. Remember, some time ago, a long time ago, we did a Friday session on it, but what I try to do is collect them together as a nice seminar, and in the long run it'll come out probably for some of the events as well as a redoubling thing, because it's quite fun to work out what this dark blue card in the bidding box is for. So what else is happening? Well, I'm off to Denham again. I'm rebooting the play. We like to start the year with a reboot event. I'm rebooting play, and I'm going on Thursday. So I have actually recorded the Friday live for this week already. In fact, I recorded that before Christmas, and that's all about, again, still bidding the opponent's suit. We've still got a little bit of distance to go on that, including eventually admitting that sometimes a bit of the opponent's suit will be natural, but it is in very extreme circumstances, particularly after the auction's gone a bit further on, so that you've passed a couple of times possibly and then bid a suit. That's a different matter, but we'll see. So there's various things to touch upon on bidding the opponent's suit. So those are the Friday sessions. We've got our normal teams this week. I'm just going to put that there because I think it is the special offer. So if you're not a member, you can get that at half price this week. But don't forget, if you're a member, you of course have that included. That's when I play live and commentate, and usually have some fun. So that'll be the first teams of the year. In terms of the events, well, we've got almost a full calendar of events up. We should have a few more coming, I hope. So there's the reboot there, but there are a lot of events over the year, so do look at those, and remember, if you're a member you get 5% off. So there may be some of you thinking, oh, hold on, maybe I should be a member because I'm going to book an event. I agree with you, you should be. And in terms of the cruises and the holidays, again, we've got a nice full program for 2025, and are thinking we will have the 2026 soon. And I think the important thing is when we get into this January period, and let's be honest, it's been a bit cold today. There's some nice ones. There's even a fly cruise there with Richard and Sue there. So that's to the Dalmatian coast. So there's all sorts of things to choose from, as well as, of course, all the holidays abroad. And this is the time to be thinking, do you know, we set off on the bikes this morning with Alfie, and I thought it was supposed to be vaguely warmer today. But then I looked at the app and it said, feels like -7. And you know, the app was right, because that is exactly how it felt. And it was damp, I will say, as well. So well done, Alfie, for getting to school safely. Let's get started, I think. We don't have a 5-level decision today because there's no hangover. We haven't had well, there probably is a hangover somewhere in the mix, but the previous Friday, of course, I sorted it out itself because I didn't want to have a hangover lasting 2.5 weeks. So instead, we're going to go straight into the seminar. And as I say, that's on ReDoubles. So we're going to start with a little bit of the seminar, the big seminar, what I call the introduction. I've then got a hand that I played on Q+, which I think is of some interest on the topic. So we will look at that. So this is a ReDoubles. So what is a ReDouble, I think, is our first question. And those of you familiar with the doubling dice in backgammon will realise that when you double, you can then double again, you can double again, you can double again. Bridge isn't quite as extreme as that because the auction would go on for a long time. But essentially, a ReDouble is doubling a double. Now, you can only do it if you are doubled. So I have seen players try to double an opponent's contract and then redouble it thinking it's definitely going off. But no, you can't do that. Now, they don't come up too often, but they should come up slightly more than they do. And the reason they don't come up often at all for most is people don't even think about it as an option. Because essentially the redouble is the dark blue card with 2 X's on. Double X, and there is no more. You can't have 4 X's or 3 X's. There are 2 doubling cards. There's basically the red card, which has 1 X on, and the redouble that has 2 X's on. And it is basically, it doubles a double. So in basic terms, it is quadrupling a score rather than doubling a score. Now, as you know, the nuances of bridge scoring don't make it quite as simple as that, but it does make a lot of difference to the score. 1 no trump redoubled is perhaps the most common contract that's played redoubled, because there are certain systems that there's not, you double a 1 no trump bid because you've got 17. It turns out the next hand has 10. They redouble and your partner's stuffed. He's flat. So you end up in 1 no trump redoubled. If it makes a lot of points. If it goes down, it loses a lot of points. It ends up being quite often as much as a 2,000 point swing. So they come up every so often. It can only be used, remember though, when your opponents have already doubled you. So 1 no trump double from the opponents, I can then redouble if I want. And as a number of you know, some of you will play that redouble as artificial, and we're going to see lots of those. I don't. I generally like to play the redouble as thank you very much, I'll have a few more points. Okay, in basic terms, it quadruples the stakes. So why would we use a redouble? Well, actually, there's quite a few answers to this question, so it's not as simple as, oh, because I want to make more money. Actually, at low levels, we are going to use them as informative bids, okay? Because actually, very often when I redouble, I'm expressing something rather than saying because I don't expect the contract to finish there. For example, if it goes 1 diamond double, the redouble isn't going to be, oh, let's play in 1 diamond redouble, because you're not expecting the contract to stay there. So it's going to say something, okay? So to show strength is the most common reason we use it. And it can actually come up a lot more often than you think to show strength. It almost always says, partner, we've got the majority of the points. You can also use it to give information. If they've doubled an artificial bid, you can then redouble to show something else, or a half stop, or whatever you decide. That's not something that I particularly cover in my big seminar or here, but it is an option that I mention. Quite rarely you get the opportunity to use what's called an SOS redouble. An SOS redouble where it's your partner's maybe made an overcall, your opponents have ended up making a penalty double or transforming a takeout double into a penalty double, and you look at your hand and you think you know there's a better contract. So sometimes you can use the redouble to escape. Bear in mind that sometimes goes wrong. One of you thinks it's redouble to make and one of you think it's to escape, and so it can lead to some interesting results. Okay, and the last one, of course, is to maximize your score. The most common time we redouble for that, one, no trump, I've suggested double redouble, but also game contracts. Your opponents double you and you look at your hand and you think, do you know, I'm going to make this. I've got a lot more than I've promised. I'm trusting my partner's bid. I think they've made a speculative double and I'm going to redouble to maximize my score. And again, that can be valuable. To be honest, if you make 4 spades doubled, you probably get a top score playing pairs. Playing teams, though, redoubling can get you an extra 300 or 400 points. And suddenly, what should have perhaps been a flat board ends up being a very, very big swing. But let's look at the most common ones. And the most common one is a first round redouble of a takeout double. So it's quite common for the auction to start one of a suit double, redouble we're going to look at, and that's what we're going to look at today, that one. Okay. After one no trump gets doubled, as I discussed, now you can redouble naturally, but some of you will be using that redouble artificially. Okay, that's very much up to you. They interfere with a double. Goes a club, pass, a heart, they double. You're just about to rebid one no trump, or even jump rebid 2 no trumps here. Okay, you've got a strong balanced hand. You can actually use the redouble to say I'm strong. And quite often we're going to see, number one here, we're going to see that we're going to get penalty doubles. You can also get penalty doubles in that number 3 as well. Okay, the rescue redoubles, they're going to come up usually something like one no trump overcall double. You know, you're thinking you're in that. You've got a void in partner's suit, maybe a couple of 5-card suits. That redouble says, partner, look, I really think we're better off in a different suit. Okay, and redoubles at the higher levels are to play. Okay, so let's focus on just the first round redoubles. They're the one that are part of standard ACL. So this auction is a part of standard ACL, probably standard American as well. Standard American, if you can say that. Essentially, most systems use the redouble for the same reason here. Okay, and the most important thing is it is not a natural bid. So the redouble here is not saying I love one spade. The redouble is saying, I'm strong, partner. We have the majority of points. I do not have support for your spades. Now, why not? Well, because your opponents are trying to get in the auction. So it goes one spade double. Clearly, the doubler is a takeout double. He wants his partner to bid. If we had spade support in a weak hand, we'd either bid 2 spades or jump to 3 spades to make it difficult for them to come in. Because if we have a spade fit, they will have an easy fit in another suit, and we want to stop them finding it. Okay, so we're using the redouble here for another. We're saying, partner, I haven't particularly got spade support, but I've got lots of points. Now, even if I've got a doubleton spade here, I'm expecting most of the time one spade to work to make, you know, because I'm looking at, you know, let's say 9 or more points. Partner's got 12 or more. We've got the majority of points. Even if we don't have a great spade fit, the chances are we're going to make it. So usually your opponents are not going to want to pass out one spade redouble. Note also partner has another bid. But redouble is very much saying, partner, I'm strong. And the key here is the opponents here, particularly in this auction, one spade double redouble, they have to bid at the 2 level. Okay. All right, they have to bid at the 2 level. And very often they could find themselves in trouble. Okay. And so quite often you will get some wonderful penalty doubles out of this auction. Okay, remember, any hand with spade support would want to raise. Okay, so it goes one spade double, redouble. And very often, as I say, this auction is going to lead to a penalty. And what's important is that once you've redoubled, you are saying, partner, let's think about a penalty double. Any subsequent double will be for penalties. Now, okay, so it's a strong redouble. Any subsequent doubles are for penalties, and that's important because I want us both to be looking for it. Now, Suzanne's asked, does it deny 5 hearts? I don't think so. When you've got, in this auction, if you had 10 or more points of 5 hearts, I think redoubling makes sense to start with, because you're not that excited about bidding hearts when you expect your opponents to have 4 hearts anyway. Notice, as we'll see, you can bid naturally. So you redouble first, and then it comes back round to you, and if you don't feel like doubling them, you can then bid 2 hearts anyway. And that would, of course, be natural. It would show 5 hearts and your normal hand. But obviously, sometimes it will go redouble, and they'll bid 2 hearts. And of course, you'll then be in a position to double them. And we're going to see how that penalty doubling works, because it is a lovely feeling when it works. Here's a classic hand. So, your partner East opens 1 spade. Now, you probably think, oh, this is a hand for the takeout double, because it is. It's a beautiful takeout double, but it's your partner who's opened 1 spade. And South makes a takeout double. So it goes 1 spade, double for takeout. And quite often, a redouble is very similar to the actual doubler. So we've got a very similar hand to West. And the beauty here is, what contract, sorry, we've got a very similar hand to South, I should say. What contract are North and South going to play in here? We can already see they're in trouble. Let's say that we're game all, for example. If it's game all here, North, South are in trouble already. South's probably made a completely normal bid. It just happens that North probably has, I don't know, a 3 count and maybe 4-3-3-3 with 4 spades or something worse than that. Okay, it's going to be horrible for them, and there's nothing they can do. We can see that if they play in clubs, diamonds or hearts, we are going to have some fun. So we are going to put a redouble on that. Okay, you have a very similar hand to South. That's the key here. And South, I think, is most likely has made a normal bid, although sometimes you'll play against people who double on any opening hand and then they get what they deserve here. Okay, so if you see people who just have 12 points in a flat hand and they think, oh, I've got to bid something I'll double, well then our redouble really pays dividends now. Okay, because of course the South hand perhaps just has a weak no trump and is going to struggle to make perhaps 5 tricks, let alone 8. Because remember, they're bidding at the 2 level. And you might think, well, they can bid 1 no trump. Well, believe you me, you've got 11 points and your partner's open. So I don't expect them to be making 1 no trump, and that will get doubled as well. The key here is that my redouble says, partner, let's think about penalising them. Now, don't forget, if you've got a 6-card suit at some point, or partner's got a 6-card suit, you may well bid it. So you don't always redouble with 10 plus, maybe with, as I say, 6-card suit and a shortage in one of the other suits, you're thinking, well, they're obviously going to be able to play in that, I'll just bid. But I do like a redouble to get my strength across. Okay, so let's look at the full hand here. Okay, let's look at the full hand and see what might happen. So I've shifted the hand a bit to the left so you can see the southwest, northeast at the top. Let's see. It's East to open the bidding. East opens 1 spade. We've seen that. I think South's double is reasonable. He's got 13 points and he's short in spades. I think it's a normal bid, and I would expect most of you to double there. Okay, and most of the time it'll be completely fine. However, West, as we've just seen, redoubles. What on earth do North-South do? Clearly North's got spades, but the problem with his spades are they're not particularly good. So he doesn't, if he was equal in length in the other suits, he might pass. I think his best bid here is 2 clubs. Partner, you want me to take out, I'll take out to 2 clubs. Now, East and West have to be available for going for a penalty. So East here has nothing exciting to show. All right, he's got a 12 count, he's shown his spades. There's no reason to bid 2 diamonds here because partner might be long in clubs and might want to penalise it. The important element of the auction here, though, is once you've done a strong redouble, I want you to use doubles for penalties because they're much easier. So once you've had a once you've had a penalty double, you have the same situation. You make a penalty double of 1 no trump, we follow with subsequent penalty doubles. So here the auction would go pass from east, pass from south, and double from west. Okay, double. Partner, I want to play in 2 clubs doubled. Okay, I've already shown you I'm strong, let's do it. There's nothing that, I mean, there's no point South bidding. As you can see, South can make more trouble for himself. If he bids 2 diamonds, that gets doubled, and if he bids 2 hearts, that gets doubled. They're all equally as bad. I would have thought, looking at the 2 hands, probably clubs is perhaps the best of a bad lot. If you're defending this kind of contract, to be honest, I don't mind East leading the ace of spades, but I would probably switch to the king of clubs. Okay, I want to play trumps as soon as possible. And the reason for that is very often, you know, as soon as you see 13 points in dummy, you've got 12, that's 25. You're expecting North to probably have a maximum of 4 or 5 points. And to be honest, your partner's made a penalty double. Trust him. Your partner will have 4 clubs here, so you want to draw North's trumps. I think De Clara, probably his best bet is to take 2 diamond ruffs. Okay, so as long as you switch, as I say, to trumps at some point, De Clara, I think all he can do is take his 3 aces and 2 diamond ruffs. He might be able to scrape a 3rd diamond ruff if you don't play clubs at any point. But as long as you knock out one of those aces early, so either lead the queen of hearts or switch to the king of clubs, I think all he's going to make is 3 aces and 2 diamond ruffs. That is 500 points. I've made it love all here on a part score hand. You know, there's no reason why you should be any higher than perhaps at maximum 2 no trumps or perhaps 3 diamonds. So, you know, and in fact in diamonds you might lose 2 diamond tricks and only make 3 diamonds. So the point here is this is a part score hand. Yet 500 is worth more than a game, and there's nothing that North-South can do about it. To be honest, this auction should really be repeated at many tables. But if I'm honest, it'll probably go 1 spade double. A lot of people might just bid 2 clubs themselves, and then partner bids 2 diamonds, and you, as I say, possibly finish in 3 diamonds. Or you might try 3 no trumps. And 3 no trumps has some hope, but as I say, you're most likely to lose to the queen of diamonds singleton there. So I think, you know, you will possibly finish with 8 tricks in no trumps. Okay, so it's an interesting hand, very simple really. Once you've redoubled, all doubles are for penalties, and as you can see, 2 clubs doubled is going to be great fun. And as I say, 2 diamonds doubled will be even more fun, and 2 hearts doubled, again, you'd be getting down. Remember, even if you only get it 2 off, 300 is going to get you a lovely score on this board. Okay. So that is the first round redouble. Bear in mind that if you don't want to penalise the opponent, so perhaps if you're a 5-5 hand or partner just isn't, or neither of you are long in their suit, for example. Someone's suggesting a 1 no trump. If you're 5 and 4, let's go back quickly, just quickly go back to that hand. As the responder to the double, okay, so I think someone's suggesting that North might be 1 no trump. As the responder to the double, you've got to be really careful here, because 1 no trump sort of makes life easy for your opponents. If you bid 1 no trump, you're usually showing a stronger hand. It would go pass, double, and now it's going to be really, really ugly because you're just not going to get to dummy. 1 no trump doubled, I think you might just make 3 aces. Okay, again, it takes accurate defense, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, there's no entry to the long spades in the North hand. So I think we should be able to get 1 no trump doubled 4 off here. Okay, You know, not interesting. Okay, in one no trump redoubled, I don't think it's going to be too difficult. Again, remember, you know how the cards are. I'd expect you to make an over trick in one no trump redoubled, one spade redoubled. Okay, and the key there is you've got to, you'll see in the seminar, if you look at the big seminar, I talk about the scores and it's quite good fun. Someone can calculate the score for one spade redoubled +1, but it's worth much more than 500. Okay. So again, Alice, the reason why West isn't bidding 2 no trumps here is because we're going to get a lot more out of a doubled contract. Can you see that? So if you give your partner an extra 2 or 3 points, you'll make 3 no trumps. But if he's got an extra 2 or 3 points, you may well take 2 clubs 4 off for 800. So you're absolutely right, Alice. A lot of people would think, oh, over the double bid 2 no trumps. Now, I should say that you should be playing 2 no trumps as an artificial bid, because the point is redouble shows 9 or more points. So a lot of you will play the 2 no trump bid in this auction as promising spade support, 10 plus, rather than the game forcing that I like to play it without the double. So that's really important there, and it's a lovely thing. And I know you might feel oh, come on, it never happens. This particular kind of auction should come up once a month. It really should. It should be regular enough for that, and so you can get used to it, as long as you remember the redouble is an option. As I say, defending against 1 no trump, North will never get the lead after the ace and king have gone. So although he might have one extra spade trick, he'll never make it. Okay, and we can play diamonds, clubs and hearts. And unfortunately, that's what I've been asked. Yeah, I mean, Brian, you're absolutely right. In theory, they shouldn't play in 1 spade redoubled. But, you know, you never know. I've seen stranger things happen. Yes, so if North passes, he should be suggesting he has no suit to choose. So, for example, I could make it worse for North. If North had 5-3-3-2 and therefore didn't have a long suit of his own, he may well then just pass and leave it up to South, because sometimes South might have a 5-card suit in his takeout doubling hand. Okay, but the point is, North, South know they're in trouble. Okay, so 1 spade double redouble. How should the bidding progress? Well, the point is that we're going to try and penalise the opponents. That's most important, and both members of the partnership are doing that. So if it goes 1 spade double redouble and there's a bid, the opening bidder, I mean, on the previous hand you saw the opening bidder had 5 spades and 4 diamonds. Well, if he hears the opponent's bid 2 diamonds, he doubles. He's saying, I've got length in diamonds, I'm going to penalise them because I know, partner, you've got 9 or more points. Okay. However, essentially, if we don't find a penalty, we bid naturally. So I've shown my 9 or more points. So if I think, oh, the opponents have got to a reasonable contract, I can just bid my suit. So on that hand, particularly you've just seen, you might, well, clearly you had all of the suits on that one, but we'll look at an example where you haven't got all of the suits. You redouble at first to say, partner, I'm strong, but then you can bid a suit if you don't want to. So here's an example. So a similar hand to the last hand. East opens 1 spade here. Okay, just a normal bid with 5-4. South, we can't see his hand. He doubles for takeout. And again, you might think, well, why isn't West just bidding 2 diamonds here? Well, quite often he will redouble and the opponents will bid hearts. And if the opponents bid hearts, I would want to penalise the opponents in 2 hearts. So I would redouble to say I've got a nice hand, 9 or more points first. Unfortunately, North chooses to bid 2 clubs there. So that's North bidding 2 clubs. That comes back round to us. And now I would feel, okay, I'm not comfortable penalising 2 clubs. So I will bid 2 diamonds. So now I could have bid 2 diamonds on the first round, but I'm greedy. I wanted to look for a penalty first. As it happens, you may well find that, you know, you get more points out of 2 clubs doubled than you do out of diamonds. But the point is that you can't be confident, and certainly if partner had a singleton club, 2 clubs might be a decent contract for the opponents. Excuse me. You know, so I think bidding 2 diamonds is the normal option. So redouble, partner, I've got 9 or more points. When I later bid 2 diamonds, partner knows I've got that. And I think probably your partner might even bid 3 diamonds here. keeping the auction going. And I think 3 diamonds is a great contract. I don't think you'll go any higher than that. Quite often, you might think, oh, my king of clubs is well placed. I don't think so. North won't have many points in this auction, so it wouldn't surprise me if South has the ace queen of clubs and the ace of hearts, and you will lose 3 tricks. You might scrape home in 5 diamonds. I wouldn't have thought so. There's a lot of work to do there, I would have thought. Notice also quite often South might have 4 diamonds as well, so the diamonds might break 4-0. However, so there we've ended up not getting the penalty double, but we haven't lost anything by bidding 2 diamonds anyway. Okay, I think if the opponents defend incorrectly, you might be able to scrape home in a no trump contract, but I think you can see that it may be that if they switch to spades, funny enough, in no trumps, you'd be in a bad place. Okay, so that's that. I've just got one hand. So that's the introduction to doubles there. To redoubles, I should say. But I just wanted to show you one hand from Q Plus here, which I came across. Just to show, this is a completely random hand. It's you can see the code up in the corner. It's 8044-03. Those of you who have Q Plus, you can put that in and actually play it yourself. But it's a relatively straightforward hand, and let's see how it goes. So we're the opening bidder. We are non-vulnerable against vulnerable opponents. We start 1 spade. Goes double from West, redouble. And this time East has passed, actually. So East has chosen to pass, which usually means he doesn't have any clear choice. So we just pass. 2 diamonds, double. That's an interesting one. Well, the key here is partner is doubling for penalties. We have a much stronger hand than we've promised here. We've got 17 points. So clearly I think we can make a game. But look at the vulnerability here. Look at the vulnerability. If your partner's really doubling that for penalties, I've got no reason to think that we're not going to take it 2 off. Now, if I change the vulnerability and I was vulnerable and they were not, I would be worried that we'd be making 600 and we would have to take it 4 off to make a profit. However, here, I am sure this is going to go 2 off. I think East is going to put a Yarborough down most of the time here. So remember, we have 17. Our partners show 9 minimum. That's 26. And West has made a takeout double. So I'm expecting East to put down maybe 1 or 2 points at maximum. I think this is going to be horrible for Declarer, and I'm going to enjoy seeing him play it. So let's let him play it. Okay. Notice also it's the Queen of Diamonds, which is worth something as well. Okay, let's have a look and play the hand out. Let's see what dummy's got, and there you go. So you've got to bear in mind here that West has probably made a perfectly normal bid here. Okay, but unfortunately he's in trouble. So what am I going to do here? The temptation on a hand like this for me here is to very early play trumps, because I think partner, we don't know how strong the relative holdings are in diamonds. But what's important is if partner has good diamonds, he wants to try and make them, rather than us letting West gradually rough a few times. Okay, we also don't know how long the diamonds are. So for me, I am very tempted to win the first trick here and play the Queen of Diamonds and then leave it up to partner. Partner will know I probably haven't got any more diamonds, but my partner can look at the strength of his diamonds. If he's got, I don't know, Jack 10, 9, 8, clearly he's going to continue diamonds to knock out West's diamonds. If he's got just the Ace King to 5, he will actually be looking to rough himself if he's got small ones, if that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to overtake the first trick and switch to the Queen of Diamonds. And let's see how that works for us. Okay, partner's won that, no surprise. And he's continued with a diamond. So that is good news. That means partner has lovely diamonds. He wouldn't do that otherwise. Okay, so I am going to just throw a spade. I don't think I need the 6 of spades, so I'll throw that one. bear in mind, Declare's not going to be able to set up the spades because he's got no entries there. Let's see what happens. Okay, I see no reason not to win the ace of clubs here. And then I'll switch to hearts. I want partner to win the heart, so I think I'm going to lead a low heart to start with. Remember, partner can always... No, maybe I should play the jack. Maybe I should play the jack. Okay. All right, so we've played the jack, king, ace. Let's see what happens now. Partner's got good diamonds. This is good news. So we can throw clubs here because partner is now drawing Declare's trumps. Wow. Okay. Oh, this is quite exciting here because we've now drawn all Declare's trumps. So all of our spades are winners. So this is pretty, yeah. You can see that, by the way, if you don't know yet, Declare's only made one trick. Okay. So let's see what happens now. Partner's throwing the queen of hearts, so we'll play the 10 of hearts. And then the last trick is our 2 of hearts. Well, there you go. That is 2,000. And to me, that is a relatively normal auction. Okay, so that is a relatively normal auction. Now, I don't think West should have covered my queen of diamonds. That's the only thing I would say. That's the only mistake West has made, is maybe he's hoping the diamonds break 4-2, and if he doesn't cover, I just lead another one. But you can see that the Declarers, I think it's just normal bidding. It's gone one spade. I think that's a normal takeout double. It's aggressive, but it's, you know, it's relatively normal, I think. I mean, you could decide whether you would do it or not, but it's aceless, true, but it's a 6 loser hand, which I would downgrade to 7, but it seems normal. I think I would double. It goes redouble, pass, we passed, and of course North's dreams come true when it goes 2 diamonds. He can't believe his luck, but of course West surely does bid 2 diamonds. It looks normal to me. Should he bid 2 hearts over 2 diamonds doubled? I don't know, but anyway, we would bid, obviously, we would bid, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I think North maybe would double 2 hearts again, and 2 hearts is almost as bad, isn't it? It's really horrible. I think they'll make at least 2 tricks in 2 hearts rather than here. So Declarer could have done a little bit better, but I think it's still going to be 1,400 or 1,700. Here it was, you know, you can see how the diamond switches work though. Can you see that? That by leading diamonds early, the temptation for a lot of players will be just to let the 10 of spades win and let Declarer ruff a spade. And then later on, maybe Declarer makes another low ruff, the king of diamonds and the king of clubs. He could finish with 4 tricks here. That's still 800, don't forget. Sorry, that's still 1,100. So am I right there? 2, 3, 3. Yeah, it's still 1,100. So, you know, you're still getting a lot. And to me, that's relatively normal. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough savagery. But that's what I want to happen. Most of the redoubles at the low levels, they're suggesting partner. The opponents are coming into an auction that possibly they shouldn't be in. So here, clearly West is unlucky to find his partner with a genuine Yarborough here, and then bid his own suit, which his partner is shortest in. So that's not a nice thing to happen. But that's what happens sometimes in bridge. We've all been there. We make a 1-no trump overcall with a nice 16-point hand and a stopper. Partner puts a Yarborough down, we get doubled, and we make 2 tricks. You know, bridge is like that. All we can do is describe our own hand. If our partner is annoying enough to have the wrong type of hand for us, we can get into a lot of trouble. I mean, it happens a lot over preempts. The opponents preempt 3 clubs. I've got 19 points and a lovely stopper. I bid 3 no trumps. It goes double. Partner puts a Yarborough down and I'm 5 off in a relatively normal contract. You know, life can be difficult, and the important thing is the opponents take advantage. And I want you to be doing that in double annui. Whether you're doubling or you're redoubling, I want you to do it more. I want you to think, should I double or not? Double. Okay, so if you think about doubling, because I get that a lot. When I play at the table or I see people thinking, they will use the term, I thought about doubling. Okay, So I want you to transform that thought into a bid. Now, it won't always work. Sometimes your thoughts were wrong, okay? But you learn more if you keep doubling. Does that make sense? Because hopefully you'll see it go wrong, you'll see it go right. And you do it as a partnership, because then you can laugh about the minus 800s. That's the idea. So if it goes wrong and you get minus 790 because 4 spades doubled makes, you take it on the chin and move on to the next one, and hopefully you learn why. But you can only learn really by doing it more and more. Okay, so have some fun with that if you can. So I think that's us for today. I've got the bidding quiz, of course, for you, so let's put that one up. 1 club from partner, 1 diamond from you, 3 no trumps from partner, and it's your bid. So a club, a diamond, 3 no trumps. It is love all. Okay, a club, a diamond, 3 no trumps, and the vulnerability is love all. So good luck with that one. Don't forget, you can get the answer both on the website as a member or a non-member. You can get it as well. So hopefully you enjoy that. Happy New Year. To repeat that, enjoy doubling. Please do send hands in. As Peter says, don't forget, we've still got our game on Into Bridge on the Monday evenings at 7:30. It's fun. There's a small number of tables. It's nice and calm. And we're going to be doing a few other things on Into Bridge come February. I can't start them in January because we don't start at the beginning, but I'll discuss those over the coming weeks. But yeah, do please join and have a game on the Monday at 7:30. That's on Into Bridge. It's free to sign up. So thanks for your company. Enjoy your doubling. We're going to be bidding the opponent's suit on Friday. Don't forget, I'm not there on Friday. I've recorded that for you, but we are live on Wednesday evening at 7:30. So thanks for your company, and see you again soon.